Welcome to Shambhavi Spectrum in Cheer the Champs series. Today, my special champ here is Krish Sanklecha. Good evening, Krish. How are you doing?
Good evening. I'm doing great. Thank you. How are you doing?
I should thank you, first of all, for agreeing to be my guest. I know it's busy times, exams are coming up for everyone. And please, but I wanted to share with everyone what you have been doing so that we can carry it across and it can inspire more people to try out new things. Please tell us, Krish, what is
Thank you so
your
much.
recent achievements been like?
Yes, definitely. So, firstly, to start off with my achievement was actually last year during June of 2020, where I came up and I created my own MUN platform, Mall United Nations, which is a simulation of the United Nations, and that's how everything works. Currently, here in the UAE, there are many different types of MUN that actually go around, but they're normally school affiliated, and the biggest ones are DIMUN, EISGMUN, and AUDMUN. So I felt like, especially during the pandemic, what happened was that all of these MUNs just stopped completely, and all of us just went to a shutdown mode. And I felt like there was like an urge to actually create a platform where MUN can still go on and still continue on, even though we aren't in real time or face to face. We can still do something online because we have wonderful tools that have been created for video calling, such as this one, where we can have and like have discussions and have conversations amongst the youth. And the reason that urged me to actually open this platform was I noticed that a lot of the youth of today very sit back and relaxed and didn't really have a motive, especially during, as mentioned before, COVID. Um, we were really lazy, including myself. I can say one of them, and I just really just wanted to sleep all day, watch TV, and eat. And I didn't really have a cause because school was off. We didn't have any studies, so really nothing much to do. So in June, sorry, I came up with this platform called Challenging the Youth Mall United Nations (CTYMUN), and I had my first edition conference in July. So we had roughly around a month and 15 days to actually plan an entire conference from scratch. So it was like we didn't have any statistics, any data, any planning. It was everything in just 1.5 months or less. Where normally MUN conferences normally last around 8 to 9 months. So getting it done in 1.5 months was obviously very optimistic by myself. But I said, if there's a will, there's a way, definitely. So let's just give it a shot and let's see what we can do. So we started applications slowly, and to I think all of our surprises, even to our friends and my team, we ended up getting around 180 applicants from all around the world. Some of the
Wow.
biggest countries, yeah, some of the biggest countries like USA, Mexico, Indonesia, India, Pakistan, UAE, obviously, Saudi Arabia. Just some of these countries. We had people from Africa as well, like Kenya and South Africa. So it was very, very successful. And obviously, after the first edition got over, I think I still had the drive inside of me, and I said, if the first was so successful, let's see what the second has gotten for us. So I went ahead and I said, I'm going to do a second edition. I think it was between the first edition got over during end of July, and it was, I think, within a week, I decided in my mind and I said that I'm going to have a second edition. Let's just do it. And the second edition just got over recently on the 19th of February. There were a lot more time just for the second one, especially because school was on, people had exams, we had international delegates from all around the world, so people have different schedules because COVID was slightly getting lightened up, so people were able to manage their schedules better, and school was on. Um, it was difficult for the second edition, but we still made it through, and it still happened. So that was, I think, a very big success, and I'm very happy innovative that I've done. Very glad that it actually became successful.
I'm so happy for you and so happy that you actually went about and you created an impact in others' lives because of this. So, did you have any core members with you who helped you run the whole thing? How many of them were there?
Definitely. So in the first edition, so I have my secretary. In the first edition, I had two other secretariat members with me. So we were a team of three as the main team. And then we have a team of five who are the executive team, who are in charge of all the behind the scenes work. And then we obviously had the staff team, which was 12 chairs for all each and every different committee. However, for the second edition, our team was even bigger because we wanted to make it even more successful, and we got a lot of praises from everyone. So in the second edition, we had a team of four secretariat members. So we added another secretariat members We had 7 executive team members who were behind the scenes, and then we had again 12 staff team members.
How did you manage to get the word out to, you said that you had other countries and you had so many from the East and the West. So how did you manage to get the word out?
I think I could definitely say social media was one of the biggest outreach that was actually available there, especially social media, especially Instagram. I mean, I'm sure all of the youth, including like all of us, so Instagram is I think one of the apps that I think every single teenager has in today's day and age, and that's how we all get messages. And we just started following people who liked MU, and we created an audience for an open platform, and we just tried, sending how many people we start promoting, and slowly we had a Facebook page as well. So example, normally parents are more on Facebook, so they want to tell their kids stuff like that. So that's how we send the message, and slowly through our website, the message broadcasted even further.
So I understand you had a website, you created a Facebook page, you had an Instagram as well as Twitter. Is that right?
Yeah, we didn't have a Twitter page, but we had Instagram, Facebook, and we had a website.
Okay. And roughly, you mentioned that you took about 1.5 months to prepare and execute the first one. What was the technology platform that you used for actually conducting the MUN events?
So we actually use Zoom. So we just use Zoom like every other person. Luckily, we were privileged by our schools to actually have the premium account, so we could have meetings non-stop. So we all had the Zoom premium account, and we just had the meetings going like forward without it having a halt. And that was the main platform. We used Zoom. Just wanted to keep it simple.
Okay. Did you use breakout rooms and things like that? And
definitely, yes, for sure. We used breakout rooms obviously within committees because we had 6 different committees, so we had to use breakout rooms with the chairs to delegate with the delegates, or us to talk with anyone, or when we had our opening ceremony or closing ceremony, for us to come together and discuss as well.
So your vocabulary is full of executives and words like that, which are very akin to go hand in hand with MUN. So did you have prior experience with MUN?
Yes, definitely. Actually, my first ever conference was in 2017 in EISJ, my school, and that was my first ever conference, and I was in African Union as a delegation of Algeria, and that's where my MUN journey, I can say, started and went along.
Was it easier to do research for your project, or whatever discussions that you were having because you people were online? Did it help your? Was the discussion more, what should I say, more dynamic because you had access to online at that time, which you may or may not have so much when you're having an offline?
Yeah, so one thing that actually was the biggest challenge, I could say, was to make the conversation engaging. Because what happens when we have in face-to-face, example, when we're actually in a conference like such, we can go and talk to people, we can like discuss on topics, or get new friendships, get new connections. That can last us a long way. But when it comes to online, what happens when you sit on a computer for 5 or 6 hours, you tend to get tired. We're just human. Normally, even if myself, I'm sure even yourself, sit on just a screen for 6 hours, we're going to get tired at one point eventually, because we'll get bored or something. So that was the biggest challenge for us, to actually keep it engaging, for people to not get bored. And in that way, we went with a more unorthodox manner where we had crises and we had some fun activities, or we had like a challenge between the chairs and the delegates, in order to just have some fun as well. Because at the end of the day, even though they're coming here to learn something, that was my idea. If you're coming here to learn something, you even need to have fun, because learning something with no fun doesn't mean you're learning. Learning goes hand in hand with fun.
Right. So the whole thing about now, especially the COVID, is learn and have fun at the same time, keep the engagement high, and keep away from fatigue. So it's great. Any highlights or high points in your sessions which you would like to share here?
Definitely. I can say there were multiple different highlights as we went on with the journey. There were a lot of ups and downs. There was a complete roller coaster. There were high points where work wasn't getting done, or I was frustrated, and there were points where we all were really excited as a team. And then obviously the conference going about and just having delegates. But the 3 highlights I can pick out is firstly having international delegates come from all over the world, which I never anticipated ever. And even having an international chair from the US joining us into a conference. The second highlight I can say was indeed having a a United Nations speaker come with us and give a keynote speech, which I think was a great thing, because I don't think it's very now and there you see, oh, I have a United Nations speaker coming and giving a keynote speech in my conference. So
wouldn't have been
that was
possible
very
offline,
good.
possibly, right?
Exactly. So that was one of the benefits. And I think my best and the most favorite memory that I had, and I'm sure the whole team did, was getting featured in the nation's newspaper. So we were
Right.
featured in Khaleej Times as well, which is one of the biggest newspapers out here in the UAE. And
Of
I think
course.
that I was very honored and very humbled to actually be presented there.
It's a fantastic job you've done, Krish, because it's not only that your hard work paid off, and it was teamwork, which you have acknowledged very
Definitely.
together, that it was teamwork. So what do you plan to do further, and what kind of tips would you like to give to somebody who would probably inspire to be like you?
Thank you so much. Thank you, really humbled. But the first thing I would say to move on with CTY MUN is I've done 2 editions as a Secretary General and the founder, and I'll be giving my authority to someone else, because obviously I have my last year, which is next year, and I'll be graduating, so I don't really have that much time to actually run, because it's time consuming. But a few tips I would give to the youth of today and inspire them is that if you put the hard work into something you really want, or something you really want to do, there's definitely a way you will get that accomplished, no matter what the situation is. When I started, I had a lot of harsh comments coming back behind my back, or people saying, "This is ridiculous. It's not going to be possible. How? Like you're being a bit too optimistic, or being dreamy. You're not being realistic at the situation." And I was like, "Okay, thank you. Those are your comments. I appreciate them, but till the time you have that energy and that adrenaline going in through you, I would say anything is possible. You just need to have your mind focused and set right on a target that you really want to achieve, and you'll achieve it. But at the same time, I always tell that nothing's possible individually. I wouldn't have done this at all if I didn't have my team behind me, because they were the backbone. If it was just me executing this, I could completely say this would be a failure, disaster. But a team is always something that you always need, and just be focused.
Wonderful, Krish. It's great having you here in Cheer the Champs. And any last word that you want to give out to your audience, your friends, anybody out there who might be listening onto this, who we can share it with? Anything you want to say to them?
I would just like to end off by saying thank you so much. Firstly, Ms. Shambhavi, for giving me this platform. And secondly, I would even like to thank whoever's watching this if they've attended CTY, or if they will be attending in the future. And I would just like to tell them thank you for even investing the time in watching this. Other than that, once again, thank you, Ms. Shambhavi. It's been a pleasure to be here.
Such a pleasure to have you on board, Krish, and I wish you all the very best in all your future endeavors. And we'll definitely keep track of what you're doing and what else you're going to achieve. Take care. All the best. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye-bye.